If you like this content and you want to see more, then please do consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. If you do, you'll be able to see all of these awesome videos exclusively, and you'll be helping the channel grow to make more videos like these. Thanks for listening, and on with the show. Game console peripherals. Everybody loves a peripheral, from the casual gamer to the almost religiously dedicated fanboy or girl. It goes without saying that manufacturers equally, if not more, simply adore peripherals and accessories too, because it's an easy way for them to sell you their latest and greatest product that you absolutely cannot do without, or so they tell you. Since game consoles have existed, accessories and peripherals have followed suit, telling you that you definitely need to use them. Some of these have been fantastic and welcome additions from both first and third party manufacturers alike. However, as we all know, not all of these have been as good or as functional as the manufacturing departments would have you believe, ranging from absolute game changers to outright change wasters. Even on current consoles, manufacturers insist on frankly idiotic trinkets such as the PlayStation 4's super useful horizontal feet. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Horizontal feet, as in, you know, when it's flat. Hi everybody, I'm DJ Slug from Slug's Game Room, and today we're going to be chatting about 9 truly pointless and fairly unique gaming console peripherals. Oh, and just to make the list a little bit harder for myself, every single entry will be for a different system. Let's do this. So nearly 3 years after the Nintendo Switch was released, and a slew of every other possible accessory having already been forced upon the shelves of your local video game retailer, with every manufacturer having fond memories of the Wii add-on rush of yesteryear, a company called Cyber Gadgets thought they had found the one area to sell you an accessory for your Nintendo Switch that no one else had thought of. On May the 30th, 2020, Cyber Gadgets released one of the most idiotic Nintendo Switch accessories ever, the Crystal Nintendo Switch Dock protective cover. Yep, that one part of your full-size Switch assembly that sits there and just never moves. Apparently this needs protection too. From what exactly, I'm not entirely sure. The casing slides over the front of the Switch dock to make sure it doesn't... On closer inspection, it seems to create a tighter slot for your Switch to actually dock into, and maybe even having the potential for the product itself to cause more unnecessary wear and tear to the one part that actually does need protection, the console itself, and not the dock. Cyber Gadgets had previously released the Gyro mini controller for the Switch to slightly less ridicule, but unfortunately this one appears to be the laughingstock of many a discussion board and reviews that can easily be found online. Ranging from around $13 to $20, Cyber Gadgets may have been banking on lockdown panic buying to extend to something like this too, but sadly it seems their wisdom didn't pay off. Rumour has it that their next product in the pipeline, something they call their Analog Stick Drift Defenders, are here to cure what is to be a fairly known issue on some well-used older Switch units. The question is, will they work? Let's wait and see. Way back in 1994, Sega, in combination with ASCII, had the bright idea of thinking the cartridge equivalent of a CD changer was exactly what consumers of the 16-bit generation needed. A snazzy 6-slot cartridge multi-changer for your Sega Mega Drive for the last gamers out there. At the touch of a button, you can swap between your games without having to go through the grueling task of actually removing one game and inserting another cart, because that was clearly a major problem for us back then, wasn't it? With a retail price set at $50, you too could have spent your hard-earned money on something to save mere seconds at a time. Those of you with deeper pockets could have actually forked out 5 units to make a total of 6 that could be daisy-chained to give a maximum of 6 units and 36 carts at your disposal. Well, you could have done that if it was actually released.
Are you ready?
At the last minute, the release was scrapped, meaning that there are quite possibly units still hidden in warehouses out there somewhere waiting to be discovered. Maybe it was the fact that it was just useless. Maybe it was the fact that the next generation of consoles, including the Sega Saturn, were just around the corner. And maybe it was because its potential fire hazard mess of cables and power supplies would have been a disaster. But if you ask me, it was probably because it would have been easier, way easier for hackers to play pirate games on their Mega Drive/Genesis. If the bespoke cartridge acts as a pass-through or even validates boot up through the proprietary video jukebox cartridge, could this have possibly made it easier to circumvent protection methods? Sadly, as it was never released, I doubt we will ever find out.
Cool.
So you thought the original Duke controller was big? Well, the Duke controller pales in comparison to this offering from Nintendo, the Gamecube ASCII controller, which was quite literally a keyboard with half of a game controller on either end. Yep, that old box you always see in the background of happy console gamer videos. This surely qualifies as slightly absurd. With well over 100 inputs, this gives controllers such as Rail Driver and Steel Battalion a run for their money in the number of inputs available. Made specifically for Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2, apart from chat facilities that are definitely no longer available anywhere, this controller served very little purpose. I mean, can you really see yourself playing Smash Bros with this monstrosity? In hindsight, playing the games it was originally intended for must have taken some dexterity and perseverance to accomplish anything in game without constantly looking away from the screen. This thing looks more like a space-age TV dinner tray than something useful to operate a game with. However, with that said, I do actually want one of these things in my collection. What that says about me, I don't know. All of those pesky game boxes cluttering up the place. Everyone knows that when stacked neatly in a pile, this is just not acceptable for the average gamer. That's why you, the consumer, needs an accessory color-coded to your consoles to be able to store your game boxes correctly. Everybody knows that, right? Well, for those that this odd concept applies to, let me introduce you to this. Holding a whopping 8 game boxes that absolutely doesn't take up double the space of just outing them in a pile, this wall-mountable storage device seems somewhat pointless. If you have 8 or less games, I truly can't see the need for something like this. If you have a flat surface or a shelf, surely this has always been an acceptable method of storage for your games. Even those with large game room collections use shelves just like the rest of us. If you have a fair few games, you will need a number of these units, effectively reducing the available space to store more games than you could without one. This obviously applies to the whole history of game storage systems, all having a similar kind of flaw. Game and game boxes on the whole are flat. Do we really need something to stabilize and display our games over and above a shelf? Well, apparently manufacturers think so. Thought you needed an easier way to lose your Game Boy? Well, that one company who always found a way to come out with a slight zany or far-fetched idea has found the perfect solution for you. The Konix Gameboy Holster, released in late 1991, was touted to be their answer to complete handheld protection. With a rubber case that surrounded the frame of your Game Boy, yes, in theory it would have given it some impact protection similar to bumper cases for your current day mobile phones. It claimed to be ergonomically designed. It may have helped to stop chips to the outer edges of your Game Boy, but it didn't provide any real screen protection as such. This wasn't the main flaw in the design, of course, though, because Konix provided a handy dandy belt clip too, so that you could walk around with ease, spotting your Nintendo loyalty on the outside of your trousers. This in itself would provide the perfect opportunity to knock your Game Boy screen against whatever object you happen to get close by to, and if you're not content with just providing a new way to damage your precious Game Boy, then maybe you want the added benefits that carrying around a not so small portable games console on the outside of your jeans dangling away so that you could lose it or give pickpocketers the easiest job ever is for you. Konix, by the way, were actually the company that also planned to release the Konix multi-system. Yes, that all-combined pipe dream of a multi-functional games console. Konix are in fact still around today, producing peripherals mostly for the PC, and if rumours are true, the PC belt buckle is right around the corner.
Are you ready?
DDR style rhythm games. Once upon a time, along with Guitar Hero style games, these were a craze for all gaming consoles. You could even send in your footage and hopefully get it shown on a PlayStation monthly demo disc. Manufacturers released everything from plastic, bottom end of the market dance mats for your chosen games console, right up to the almost arcade replicas of glass and metal dance stages that light up, complete with handrails for the DDR connoisseur with deep pockets. Now, what you may not know is that some companies, in this specific case Interact, produced a convenient way for you to play these games without needing to use your feet at all, in the shape of a palm-sized DDR controller for your fingertips.
Are you ready? Here we go!
Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that like to play these games with controllers, and there's a whole scene of people that like to play them with keyboards, but you don't want to be playing them with these things. Because apart from completely defeating the object of dance games, if you ask me, it didn't even work how it was intended. With under-sensitive inputs, users had to press harder than expected to get the device to actually recognise the inputs. This consequently meant many a missed move and a somewhat difficult ability to actually play the game with any success. Anyone who would love rhythm games enough to want to buy a controller such as this would definitely not be happy with the results. Thankfully, this method of control never became popular with the masses and thus was relegated to the realms of novelty very quickly. Nice try, but no cigar. Those pesky kids, always playing on their newfangled PlayStation 2s when they should be doing their homework or outside doing chores in the garden. If only there was a way for parents to control how often their kids had access to their PlayStation 2. Well, never fear, because the Exploder Parental Control device from Blaze for the PlayStation 2 is here. What you get is two physically locking devices for the memory card and controller ports, neatly packaged with a disc, a set of keys that definitely don't fit every single device they made, in a metal tin, and closer investigation is what looks to be leftover packaging from their Exploder cheat devices that they had an endless amount of. So the idea is that you load a list of child-restricted content flags from the included disc onto a memory card-free save slot, and then secure the memory card physically with the lock device to prevent removal. In reality, it seems a pretty pointless bit of kit. Firstly, the locks themselves are of very poor quality and less than complex, meaning it was very easy to pick the lock open with any rudimentary tool even a young teenager could work out, giving them their first taste of a criminal lifestyle. The second major flaw with this product, well, you can just go into the memory management and delete the file and all restrictions have been circumvented. Maybe the guys at Blaze have been taking their name too seriously and their short-term memory of logic was left out of the boardroom when this product was discussed. Due to its massive unsuccess, this found its way into pound shops up and down the country in England in a desperate last attempt to offload their stock. Good going, guys. Good going. Tired of being stuck in the 1980s with sore thumbs from playing too much NES? Well, apparently if you lived in Japan back then, this was supposedly the answer for you. The Famicoin. Licensed by Bandai in conjunction with SGR, the Famicoin has nowadays been elevated to the realms of sought-after collectibles, fetching healthy prices in online auctions over $150, being bought by people who clearly have more money than sense. However, back in the mid-80s, this barely qualified as an accessory, as it was packaged with not one, but two rubber discs to put over the top of your D-pad to increase grip for the low price of 200 yen. The best bit? It comes with a super pleasant looking sticker to place over the top of the rubber pad, effectively reducing the grip to an even worse degree than not using the item at all, turning the D-pad into a completely flat, slippery surface. Needless to say, I don't think any other manufacturers have gone down the sticker route since. As the package states when translated, with Famicoin, your high score is yours. Probably best because you're never going to want to share it after using this thing. Let's imagine it's Christmas 2006, you've just received a brand new Nintendo Wii, that year's must-have Christmas gift. After all of the Christmas merriment and enjoyment with the family, clearing out a considerable area so that you and others can flail about recreating Nintendo's own take on family esports. As fun as it is to push all of your living room furniture against the walls, and if you haven't already destroyed your TV before remote straps were a must, maybe now you've actually got bored of your Wii gaming being confined to just indoors. And if that sounds like you, then maybe you need the Wii Car power adapter to take your Wii playing pantomime gaming on the road. Yes, the console that is recommended to play in a large, clear area can now be played in the back seat of a car. Where do I even start with the number of problems that this presents? Apart from needing multiple power supplies for the console and a screen to play it on, it would only be so long before someone phones their insurance company and tries their best to explain that an airborne Wii remote caused a traffic accident. And we can't even pin this one onto one manufacturer either. On investigation, multiple manufacturers thought this would be something many Wii owners would buy. Think it through, guys, before you market the unmarketable. Hey there guys, DJ Slope here from Slope's Game Room. Thank you all for watching the video. This is part of the video where I give a big shout out to all of my Patreons and YouTube members, with an extra big shout out going to Aaron Gorman, Andrew Dalton, Andrew Ward, Arista, Aidan Wolf, Ben Jackson, Benjamin Guy, Big Rico, Abraham Perez, Brandon Gold, C64 Television, Cheshire One, Chris the Rottweiler, Clan Bob, Conrad Constantine, Cramilla, Dan Petit, Dan Yaron, Dina81, Dr. J, Expert in Moonology, Elf Daughter Crafts, Game Apologist, Gary Pinkett, Grody Grungus, Hut, Intrigued Gaming, Jabba Al Aiden, Jacob P, aka Avalon James, Jeff Ladd, Jeff Mianowski, Jeremy Rodriguez, Jonathan Hayward, Kevin King, King Link Reviews, Lucas Softail, Lipped, Man of God 9000, Marcus King Emo Cuts Tyndall, Mike Martin, Mr. Golden, Nicholas Burton, Nick Pollard, Nightwheel, Papa Zane, Petty Mew, Pretendo64, Pretty with Horns, RetroReversing.com, Retro to Next Gen, aka Lou, Richard Alderjic, Richard Carter, aka Fantastic Dizzy, RL Sloan Friendly Competition at Audible.com, Rocket Plod, Ronnie Method, SSWB, Rovan Army, Ryan Holt, Sashi Dog, Samuel Nilsson, Shadow Dragon, Shadow Dial, Solix Captor, Stephen, Taylor Rainwater, That Gamer, The Cunning Linguist, The Shaded J, Tim Labonte, Tim Lund, Podpool Flow G, Trans Rights, Vike Echo, Wobbles and Bean, The Wonder Ducks, and Ye Old Hamburglar. Like I always say, guys, these people, as well as all of my other YouTube members and patrons, help support this show and let me be able to create videos like this. Moving forward, I really want to try and get 2 of these sort of like top 10-y type videos out as midweek videos, not affected to my weekend video, twice a month at the very least. So hopefully that's something you're going to be seeing moving forward. We'll see how it goes. Regardless, thank you all so much, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. And if you want to see more episodes, the exclusive ones that I always show off, then you know what to do. Out of breath. I'm gonna see all you guys later. This is DJ Slope signing out, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.